Music distracted me this viewing.
What does that mean?
It was just a little on the nose. I should have prepared a clip for you, but it was like
the beats, like the rhythm of it, or
no, it was just the. It's just I wrote down douchey music.
What's that mean?
It's like I don't know, the people that wear Affliction and Ed Hardy T-shirts. Like this is the shit they'd be listening to as they're like hitting a heavy bag or something, thinking they're gonna be a boxer. I don't know. It's just shit music. Just listen to this orchestral masterpiece of douche. Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We're your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 45. This episode we'll be discussing John Wick, the first of the John Wick series, as we lead up to the release of the new John Whip. John Whip. Cool Whip. John Whip. Chapter 4, The Pieing. John Wick Chapter 4. But first, don't forget to visit our website at castwithnoname.com, where you comment on episodes and you list all of our past episodes. So this is the second time I've seen this.
Ever?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I watched it. I had a couple friends. One friend in particular who'd been on Puff, who'd been on this show. He was really into them and just never got around to it. And I think I watched it right when the third one was kind of streaming.
All right.
And so Christy and I, we just kind of went through all the John Wick movies.
And at that point, you hadn't seen anything at all?
I think we went through them. Yeah, I hadn't seen any of them. We saw the first one together. I don't think she saw the second or I think she saw the third one. Maybe.
All right.
Don't know. Definitely wasn't with another woman. It was either by myself or with another dude, as one does.
Hopefully it was with another dude.
It definitely was. Odds are it was another dude. But yeah, this was the second time I saw it.
Cool.
And yeah.
And by the way, we're talking about this because we're leading up to Chapter 4 that is coming out here in
shortly.
3
weeks. 4 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah, a month
soon.
from now.
Yeah.
It's coming out soon. It's the only movie I'm kind of looking forward to that's actually coming out in the theaters.
Yeah.
Which is sad in and of itself, but...
Not really. Donnie Yen's in it, so it's a win-win for everybody.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's sad that this is the first movie and we're well into 2023. That's the only one I really care about at this point.
Yep.
But why is that? Why am I excited to see the fourth movie in this franchise, Jay?
Because you have a man crush on Keanu Reeves.
Well, besides that,
okay,
who doesn't? The man just doesn't age. I don't know what it is, but
he is graceful. Why are you excited?
Because I think it's one of those rare movies, the first one, and I think each one has gotten better in terms of the action. Just the action set pieces themselves. The story, paper thin, but whatever. I can get past it because
it's a revenge story,
right?
Yeah.
But the first one, I don't want to sound high, be accused of hyperbole, but I think it redefined or reset action movies and how they should be filmed from that point forward.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I actually made a note in here to where this is the first movie I think since, other than like The Raid.
Yes.
And the Raid Part 2, to where up until this point, for about 15 years prior, so from the time you had the Bourne Identity all the way through to this. So Bourne Identity was, 2002? 2002. You started having the shaky cam crap.
Right.
For which people realized, oh, that feels intense, which used sparingly is fine. But people started using it because they figured out, oh, we can just cover up shitty choreography.
Right.
To where, we don't have time to actually train our actors on how to fight and choreograph something that's fantastic. Great. Put the camera in there super fucking close, do 15 edits, and shake the shit out of the camera. That way you don't know what's going on, and we can just say, ooh, yeah, it's action.
But it felt intense.
Yeah, it felt intense, even though no one knows what the hell's going on.
Right, yeah.
So you had that, and then Raid, I feel like came, I'm sure there's other movies that may have done it, but Raid was kind of the first on people's radar as far as getting back to the action to where the camera will linger. And John Wick, I think, was the first American film that kind of reintroduced audiences to, oh, here's some well choreographed things. Because before that, coincidentally, was The Matrix. That was probably the better, which came out in '99.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Isn't it funny that Keanu is in 2 movies that kind of reestablished how action films should be shot?
Not really, because the director and uncredited director of this. So the director of this was Keanu Reeves' stunt double, and
Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, in The Matrix, and so they were. And I believe he was a stunt coordinator.
Stunt coordinator too, yes.
For The Matrix. So, which this movie probably came about of the stunt coordinator thinking of awesome choreographed shit and trying to write a movie around the action scenes, which is what it feels like because the story is paper thin. It doesn't need to be overdeveloped. It's just a simple revenge story. But I do think, this is definitely the first one to where it kind of went back to let the camera stay. We don't have to have 15 cuts within 3 seconds.
Yep.
And there were some nice camera movements in this movie. Great choreography. Even though some of it, I noticed at least this time watching, does kind of get repetitive a little bit. Just because it's Keanu Reeves like throwing people over his shoulder and then shooting them 3 times in the face, which doesn't get old. Yeah. But it does get repetitive at times.
It does get repetitive, yeah.
But it works. So
yeah, I was going to ask you about the evolution of action in movies. Obviously, in the '80s, you had the one-man army stuff with big explosions and
big muscles, and
not really any CGI at that point. Big muscles, just close-ups of guys,
like
flexing,
like high fives and flexing, and just getting super pumped.
And then Jurassic Park came along and tore that to shreds with CGI. And then The Matrix comes along, and then everything's slow-mo, and everything's wire choreography. Everyone's flying. The Bourne was kind of the anomaly in all that, where they didn't really have all that CGI and wire fighting shit. But like you said, the shaky cam was predominantly in that entire movie. So before John Wick came along, like action movies at that point were kind of just stale and stagnant. I felt like they weren't really... Because when I saw John Wick, I was expecting it to be... Me and Nicole just went... this is when we were living in Hawaii. We just went to waste time. I was like, let's go see this movie. I don't know anything about it, whatever. And I was pleasantly surprised because I just hadn't seen anything like that up to that point with the gunplay, reloading, lingering on a shot of a guy reloading a gun. You would think that, that's really boring, but it's actually, it kind of builds up the tension a little bit. Like, is he going to reload in time?
Yeah. Especially when the guy's like a foot and a half away from him against a wall. And
it's cool. You never see anything like that before.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to my question. What do you think that's how actions progress? And do you think like this with chapter 4 here, are we getting to the point now where it's stagnant and we're getting to that point where we need another reinvention of the genre? Because it has been, 9 years now since the first one came out, since this one did?
Yeah. And I don't know if it'll be a reinvention, but it'll just be showing us something that we haven't seen before. Like you said, in the 80s, you had the big explosions. And if people did hand-to-hand, they were just fist fighting. Kung Fu style fighting really wasn't that big until, you get a little into the karate stuff in the late 80s. But it really hones it, I think, around the Matrix. So, because you had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you had some of the wires that you had, John Woo coming through, making movies in America in the 90s.
Michael Bay.
Yeah. You had a little bit of that to where people got a lot. The action, I say, got more flexible into the 90s because you're not going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger be as big as he is, do flexible hand-to-hand.
Right.
And that's not what he's for. He's for throwing heavy punches, throwing people out windows.
Flexing
and shooting
cigars.
Big guns.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine and great.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the action, even in the 90s, because Bruce Willis, I think it shifted with Bruce Willis because you had the big muscles, big guns. Then you had Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Then it kind of shifted to the everyday man or smaller people doing incredible things. So you had the Die Hard run. You have Speed. You have
Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan, to where you have a different kind of action, to where you still have the explosions and the set pieces, but the suspense is just from the events happening on screen. And then it wasn't until about The Matrix, Crouching Tiger, then you start getting into the hand-to-hand, and people start enjoying that. You have Kill Bill in the 2000s. You get a lot
where
more
choreography is the front piece.
Yeah, choreography is the front piece because you're getting you started importing all of those people that did that over in China. And
yeah, we got to give Jackie Chan credit.
Yeah.
The Rumble in the Bronx and Police Story, all that came out.
Yeah, you get all these stunt coordinators and people that just did that. Like, that was their only thing is the fight choreography, to where in the 90s, if we did, it was like sword play, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even Star Wars, you got Ray Park coming in that was doing the lightsaber stuff, and which has some of the best fight choreography. And it just almost turns into dancing at that point.
Yeah.
But
that is a really great fight, by the way.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part of that movie.
And then, then you have the 2000s, the hand-to-hand. And then it just got shaky cam because you got to churn that shit out. We can't be spending 6 weeks, 8 weeks training these people, because I don't know how long it was for The Matrix, but it was a long time.
Yeah.
And to train those actors to be able to get them in shape to do that, you had a little bit of that, like with the Kingsman. Colin Firth, you had some long-term training there. So you had some directors here and there kind of putting in some decent action.
Or if you had a budget like James Bond and Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you would spend the money to do that.
And then you have where we're at. So I don't know if it'll be because I thought part 3, even though we're talking about
the first one.
I think they've gotten better as well.
Yes. I agree.
Especially watching this one for the second time, to where I was like,
yeah,
that made me look forward to the third one.
Right.
So the fourth one, I'm excited to see how they do.
I mean, the trailer's a little underwhelming, I have to admit, but maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe when I get there,
and I hope they did that on purpose, because I feel like with this, people who already like John Wick are going to go see this movie.
Sure.
And they could probably just have a dialogue scene.
Yeah.
With no action or anything. And so I'm hoping that they're just kind of holding back the cool stuff.
But when you have Donnie Yen, I'm looking forward to that. I love him.
Yeah. And then the third one, they had the guys from Raid.
Yeah.
In that one, which I was kind of let down by that. It had a notable fight scene towards the end for it, but we can talk about that later. But but no.
Well, so for people that haven't seen John Wick, Jay, what in a nutshell is this movie about?
A depressed man on the edge.
Yeah.
He gets mugged in the middle of the night. So his wife dies, gives him a dog to look after, and so he watches the dog, and these Russian thugs come by his house to steal his car, and in a turn of events, they end up killing his dog. He wakes up, and he decides he wants to take revenge. However, unbeknownst to the Russian thugs, Keanu Reeves plays a character named John Wick, who is a retired assassin who retired because he fell in love with a woman, married her, and all this happens within a week of his wife dying, so he's going to kill everybody. Spoiler alert.
He was able to retire because he completed an impossible task.
Yes.
The Russians... Is it the Russians? Ukrainians? I have no idea.
It's the Russians.
The Russians.
I think.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, the people that kill the dog and invade John Wick's home, the son, his dad, is the Russian mob boss whom employed John Wick previously. Mm-hmm. He gave John an impossible task, expecting him to die, and he finished it, and he was allowed to leave. They never really tell you what that impossible task was, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
Have they even said what his task was up to this point through 3 movies?
I don't think so. I think they referenced it. So what he said, he's like, I gave him an impossible task, and he was able. Not only was he able to create that task, I am at where I'm at today because of it.
That's right.
So I'm guessing he probably just took down a gang, like the other
leader,
mob, and just took
them all out.
Yeah, took out the competition.
There you
go. But yeah, so the official synopsis, or not synopsis, but summary is: an ex-hitman comes out of retirement to track down the gangsters that killed his dog and took his car. which is great.
It is-
It sounds like a Steven Seagal movie
It
from
sounds
like
stupid,
the
yeah.
early 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so simple revenge movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. Directed by Chad Stahelski and written by Derek Kolstad.
Yes.
But stars Keanu Reeves as John Wick, Alfie Allen.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, Theon Greyjoy. And then Michael Nyqvist?
Nyqvist?
Who is in the Swedish version of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy.
He plays Blum.
Yeah, Blomqvist. Blomqvist,
Yes. Blomqvist.
which are fantastic.
Very good. Yeah.
Kills
way
Dave- way better than David Fincher's.
Yeah, it's really
like
good.
I mean, it's just one of those. It didn't need to be remade. Just release
Right.
those versions.
Yeah.
But,
Noomi Rapace is really good in it.
yeah, Naomi Rapeface, I believe is how you pronounce her name.
Yes, that's the Oxford Dictionary.
That's how you enunciate.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe,
Yep, Willem Dafoe. Also the
Allstate guy.
yeah, Allstate guy. The was it? Oh God, what?
We run into mayhem like me.
Mayhem guy.
Yeah.
From Allstate, and then you have Adrienne Palicki, which every time I see her in a movie, I'm like, what the fuck else was she in? Like she looks and sounds like I should know her, but
Yeah.
every time I look at her summary of stuff, I'm like, nah, I never watched that.
Yeah.
Never watched that either.
No.
Never watched that.
She was married to Tom Brady. Sports, Jay.
Oh.
So Tom Brady was married to Bridget Moynihan, left Bridget Moynihan to marry Gisele Bündchen whilst Bridget was pregnant. So Tom Brady's a great guy, great American.
So where did Adrienne Palicki come in then?
She didn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Adrienne. Oh, was married.
No,
to-
Bridget Moynihan.
Oh, Moynihan. Okay.
Yeah, the girl that you said you recognized her, but or are you talking about Adrienne Palicki?
Adrienne Palicki.
So I'm
Miss
just,
Perkins.
I'm just all
Yeah.
fucked up. All
Oh,
right.
no, you're all right. So Moynihan. Okay. Well, I'm glad I know Brady's exploits.
Well, now you do. Yeah.
John Leguizamo and Ian McShane, which
He's
fan of him ever since Deadwood.
He's the man.
And then Lance Reddick,
Yeah.
who I think he plays the hotel manager. He's one of my. He's just I like cool, silent,
yeah,
quiet, reserved characters.
constantly thinking.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I mean, yeah, we have a lot of people, and it's just good, solid movie. So if you haven't seen it, obviously go watch it.
Yes.
But if you're listening to this, more than likely you've already seen it. So
Yep.
before we dive in, let's take a little sidestep.
Sure.
I'm going to rattle off some movies.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what they have in common. John Wick, Much Ado About Nothing, Point Break, Dracula, Constantine, Speed, Johnny Mnemonic, and the video game Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, and Generation
I mean, those all have Keanu Reeves in it.
Yes. That's the obvious one. Yes.
What is Keanu Reeves doing in these movies? You got me.
I got you. So, they're all movies where he plays a character named John. So
Really?
Yeah, because you have Point Break. He plays Johnny Utah. Much Ado About Nothing, which is a Shakespeare
Yes.
movie based on Shakespeare. He plays a character named Don John, and in Dracula he plays Jonathan Harker.
Yeah.
And then you have Constantine. He plays John Constantine.
Yeah.
You have Generation He just plays John. And you have Johnny Mnemonic. He plays Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny, yeah.
And then in the video game Cyberpunk 2077, he voices a character named Johnny Silverhand. But Speed, his name is Jack Traven, which you may say, well, that's not John.
Yes.
However, Jack is a nickname for someone named Jonathan.
Is it really?
Yep. It's an Irish nickname. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's I think it comes from the Gaelic pronunciation of John. Yeah.
Whoa, I passed out.
Wake up.
No, that's Jesus.
So-
So did you know that, or did?
No, but I know he played a lot of characters named John.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because he's good at playing like and nothing gets Keanu Reeves. He's good at playing a bland character.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is great for these kinds of movies because the audience can he's perfect for Neo.
Yes.
He's just blank slate. Audience could easily visualize themselves as his character.
Yep.
But I was just always been aware that he always plays John. And I think when the movie first came out, John Wick, I was like, yeah, of course. It's like the third or the second movie, his character's name is in the title. But,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Well, even the name itself is kind of bland, so you could project your name, I guess, on it. But yeah, I mean, that's why Keanu is perfect for this role, because he's not even like really that buff or ripped or anything. He's like, your average dad bod, I guess.
Just wearing suits.
Just wearing suits, looking slick.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a full head of hair, the bastard.
Yep.
But yeah, so when I first saw this, my first impressions were just how well the choreography was with the gunplay. It's the first movie I can remember where they're actually holding a gun appropriately. The physics are right with the gun, the reloading. There's no unlimited ammo, which I couldn't believe that. That's not like, except for like a war movie, where like a machine gun runs out of bullets or something.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I can't think of a movie where the actual physics of gunfight were more accurate than this, which is weird.
Yeah,
that it had to come from a
it's nice
ridiculous plot like this.
Because you touched on it earlier that it also adds to the suspense too.
Yeah,
especially when he is reloading and stuff like that. The camera just sits, lingers.
Yeah,
doesn't skip over it. It's
yep.
Now this is the thing the character has to deal with.
Yeah, and so David Latish is an uncredited director because Chad Stahelski. I don't know. I didn't get too deep into the bonus features for this movie, but Chad has a giant filmography of being a stunt coordinator, but no credit yet for like directing a movie. So I don't know how much influence David Latish had on any of this, but
yeah,
I would think that maybe Chad, choreographed the scenes, and then David kind of gave him like, okay, this is where the angle should be, and this is where like the camera should be, and the lighting and all that stuff, and then I don't know.
So and I think they were, I want to say they were partners. Yeah, because they both worked on the Matrix movies, at least Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions. But yeah, Latish did. I mean, he's done the Bourne movies. He's done a lot of stunt coordination. So they probably have worked together.
I didn't know that Latish was a stunt coordinator.
Yeah. Well, so, but yeah. So I mean, they've worked on a lot of similar movies in the past. But he has David Latish has definitely directed more recent. Like he did, he did Bullet Train. He did Deadpool 2. Atomic Blonde, so he does a lot of those hyper.
Well, you watched Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, right?
I absolutely did not. I didn't know it was Fast and Furious presents, like it was National Lampoons or American Pie.
Oh my God.
So, but yeah, so I think that's probably where they knew each other. They're probably just in the same. I mean, they're in the same field. They're aware and probably just kind of helped out. And he might have been a stunt like I'm guessing he's listed as uncredited director, but he was probably on set, I would assume, helping with the stunt stuff, to where he was probably throwing out camera angles and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of action, this is a movie for you. For dialogue and story, it's pretty paper thin. Here, I'm gonna give a clip of probably my favorite scene, because the way that they executed it just wasn't what I was expecting when I first saw it. Here we go.
Aurelio speaking.
I heard you struck my son.
Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah, may I ask why?
Yeah, well, because he stole John Wick's car, sir, and killed his dog.
Oh.
I mean, one thing I'll give it credit for, they do a good job of building up the mythos of John Wick in this movie.
And I think that's what that. I mean, that's entirely what that scene is for.
Right. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to make you laugh, but they want to get the impression that this guy's an unstoppable badass. It's just that could have fallen flat, but it didn't.
Yeah. There's a couple of scenes like that. To where just building up his character, and the dialogue isn't the strongest part.
Definitely not.
Which that's okay.
Doesn't need to be.
No. But I think some of the strongest acting, I think, probably came from Nick Vist, and Willem Dafoe's always good.
Yeah.
And you have Ian McShane and
he's hamming it up pretty
Lance
good.
Reddick. Yeah.
He's good.
John Leguizamo isn't. I mean, he was only in it at the very beginning, and
yeah.
But Dean Winters has quite a bit of which. Every time I saw him, I was just distracted
By the Allstate guy?
Yeah, and I feel bad just because, like, he's a good actor. It's just don't put him in a suit and don't rough up his hair. Don't make him look like he walked out of the Allstate commercial. And I was waiting for him to just, like, wreck a car and have him come walk, and I was like, protect yourself from mayhem like me. And
yeah.
But he was just, he was distracting. But, the dialogue's not the strong suit, but I do like that scene. I feel like it could have been played a little bit better. Like you said, it's bordering on humor, and I don't think that was intentional.
Yeah.
Because it definitely doesn't give, like, the oh shit badass moment kind of a thing.
Do you think he should have said oh? Maybe if he just, like, if the camera panned in on him a little bit to give him like a look of worry, like, and then he just hung up for whatever reason.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like just him, like just running through in his head everything that could possibly be happening in the near future because of this happening, and then him just saying, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then just cut away. Yeah. That was good.
But other than that, what do you think of Keanu's performance outside of the action scenes?
It's Keanu being Keanu. He's doing what he should be doing. It's just playing a blank slate. He doesn't really have a lot of acting scenes to do in this movie.
But do you even need it?
No. And because one of my favorite, spoiler alert, one of my favorite things is when he corners Losov Tarasov, Alfie Allen's character. He finds the safe house. He's approaching him, and then I think he's like winged. He's like injured or something, leaning against a car, and John Wick is just kind of walking, and he's like, "I can't believe you're doing this all because of a," and then just shoots him.
Yeah.
And
they didn't build it up.
Yeah, they didn't build it up. He didn't monologue or explain his reasoning because it doesn't need that.
Right.
I like when movies just end it. Or just in the main.
It's different.
Yeah. Taken did the same thing to where once Liam Neeson was, spoilers for Taken, once Liam Neeson tracks down his daughter, he sees her, she's being held hostage by some chic guy, and he's like, we can and he doesn't even finish the sentence. He gets shot in the head. And I like when they just abruptly end things like that instead of drawing it out, monologuing, explaining reasonings why, to where you don't need to. You can, but having said that, he does do a good job portraying his depression that he has in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And because the movie opens up him kind of stumbling out of the car, which watching again, I'm like, wait, so did he just get out of the car to look at the video on his phone only to get back into his car? Because he gets out of his car at the very beginning and plays the video on his phone. It's him shooting a video of his wife and him on the beach. And the video says, "Oh, what are you doing, John?" And then it kind of cuts earlier to him burying his wife and all that. And then at the end of the movie, he's outside of the SUV again, and then I think he gets back in the SUV and.
Listen, you're making too much sense.
I'm like, wait, so you wreck the SUV, get out, watch the video, sit in the rain for a little bit, then get back in.
Hey, we got to set the mood. We got to set the tone. You're right.
Oh, no, then he breaks into a animal hospital. And
yeah, patches himself up and
Yeah.
staples, like a real man does.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've done that numerous times.
Oh, God, there's just animal hospitals at the right time, aren't there, in
Aren't there?
movies?
Yeah.
Just all the time. But he's pretty monotone throughout the movie. I'm going to play a clip here where he's not monotone. I think this is the most expressive he is in terms of dialogue in the entire series thus far.
Took that from me. Stole that from me. Killed that from me! People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So you can either hand over your son, or you can die screaming alongside him!
And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of just monotone. Doesn't really raise his voice. Doesn't really lower his voice. It's kind of the same, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, you can't say a whole lot when you're shooting everybody in
That's
the
right.
face.
We're not here. We're not here for a fucking William Shakespeare monologue. We're here to watch some bullets fly, baby.
Yeah. I would. Music distracted me this viewing.
What does that mean?
It was just a little on the nose. I should have prepared a clip for you, but it was like,
Like the beats, like the rhythm of it, where
no, it was
No?
just the. It's just I wrote down douchey music.
what's that mean?
It's like I don't know, the people that wear Affliction and Ed Hardy T-shirts. Like this is the shit they'd be listening to. Is they're like hitting a heavy bag or something, thinking
Yeah.
they're gonna be a boxer. I don't know. It's just shit music. But they played the song a couple of times. I think once in the club, and then once. Let's see if we can find it. This might be it. Yeah, killing strangers.
Yeah, this is this is it.
Yeah, this is it. All right.
All right, here we go.
So, all right. So, yeah, they played a couple times. I think they play it once at the club, or maybe when John Wick first starts going off, and then they play it again when Willem Dafoe is he's kind of being tortured for information, or he's being punished for not killing John Wick, and they got him in his house, and he kind of does his last stand. But just listen to this orchestral masterpiece of douche. Wait till the lyrics. Yeah.
Here for the operation. We don't need bigger knife. Cause we got guns. We got guns. We got guns.
How long did it take him to write the lyrics for this?
We got guns. Better run.
Wait for the hook.
We're killing strangers. We're killing strangers. We're killing strangers so we don't kill the ones that we love.
So dumb. And
We're killing strangers so we don't kill the ones that we love,
yeah,
Jay.
it's very deep. And I'm sure it was written in about 5 minutes, and people tried really, really hard on this song, and that's adorable. But it sounds like something that would be playing in a strip club. Like it plays in a strip club, or it plays in like a crappy bar, and someone puts it on because they're just feeling down about their day, and they just need to be morose a little bit as they drink and just be sad.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
They
so
they hit
hard.
the heavy bag with their Affliction. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they put on their Affliction shirt, and they put on their Dakar Noir cologne, and or their Brute, and throw on their Axe body spray.
Do they still make Axe?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, it's bringing back
Yes.
childhood memories, baby.
They have to. It's $1 billion corporation.
Yeah. But you're right. That is a little on the nose.
Yeah.
I'll give that to you.
It's like
yeah.
we need a hard hitting rock song. What's the movie about? Shooting people. In the face. Does he know him? No. Great. Killing Strangers. Coming out this fall.
It's a hit.
And the guy sounds like he's trying to be like Bush or...
Well, it's Marilyn Manson.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what he sounds like.
Oh.
He's not exactly like, you know.
I did not know that was Marilyn Manson.
He's not Aretha
I just thought it was
Franklin.
a second-rate Bush.
No,
I
it's
didn't care
Marilyn
enough to... Well, that
I didn't care enough to
explains it.
see who wrote it or who performed it.
I want to add something else. Not only are they wearing Affliction t-shirts, this is also listened to by gothic eighth graders that think they've had a hard life as they grow up in a white suburban neighborhood.
Now they're our age, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep. I think the last time I heard Marilyn Manson, I was in 8th grade.
Exactly. It's been a while.
But yeah, the music kind of sucks. Hopefully it gets better.
Well, Jay, there's not synth in it, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, there should be synth.
There should be synth. If it doesn't have synth, Jay's just not into it.
That's right. Get Tangerine Dream in here.
Yes.
They'll fix it up.
Yeah. But I agree with you. It is a little on the nose, but I guess that's what they were going for.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't want to do techno or any kind of electronic EDM style music because they feel like maybe it would be too similar to The Matrix or something. But Marilyn Manson is definitely not the avenue to go down.
Yeah. They should go to The Weeknd, right?
Ooh. Just have one long music video.
Yeah. One thing I do like about this movie, though, that they carried over into the second one was that he tells the story of one time I saw John Wick kill a guy with a pencil. With a pencil. And then they don't go back to it in this movie, but in the next movie they pay homage to it because he kills someone with a pencil.
Yep.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And a little trivia. The security guard who lets him into the airport to let Keanu Reeves drive, what was it? I guess in Footloose, and they made a reference to it in the movie Hot Rod. Punch dance your rage away.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, in Footloose, Kevin Bacon goes to an abandoned warehouse, and he just dances his anger out.
Yes. It's very manly.
Hot Rod did the same thing in that movie. But in here, John Wick drives his rage away. So he's doing donuts and getting really close to some shit that could ruin his car.
Test the brakes,
just
doesn't he?
Driving it around and doing his thing. The security guard that lets him in the airport was reading a book, and it's Shabima by Ron Whitaker. And it's also, that book is also about a retired master assassin that was dragged back into the game. And in the story, Vigo, the retired assassin, Vigo tells about how Wick killed 3 men with a pencil.
Yeah.
Which shares a scene in that book.
Really?
So
it's not original.
Nothing is original. Nothing is original
anymore.
Stole it.
They stole it.
Everything is stolen. It's just how well can you hide the body?
Theft?
Yes.
How can you hide the body?
Tarantino built an entire career of stealing.
That's very true. He was inspired, right? It's not theft.
That's right.
That's a great quote. Everything's stolen. It's how well can you hide the body?
Yep.
I like it. Yeah, I believe George Washington said that.
Founding fathers.
Yes, we love them. But yeah, that's John Wick 1, Jay.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about John Wick 1?
No, I was kind of let down by the second time I saw it.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
I mean, there's some scenes that I thought were pretty good, like the reloading scene.
Okay. Is it just because the sequels are better action-wise?
I think so. I was spoiled by the
third one's really good.
Yeah, the second one, I think.
Good.
I'll be eager as we watch these because in my mind, I don't remember liking the second one better than
the first one.
The first one.
The underground scene in the second one, where he has the shotgun and all those. Oh my god!
Yeah,
that scene is unbelievable.
Which I have a confusing. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that one again because I misremember it a lot because the first time I saw it on an airplane.
Okay.
And they heavily edit movies
on an airplane.
On an airplane. Because I was watching it, I was like, this is kind of tame compared to the first one.
Yeah.
No blood, there's no nothing. I'm like, this is kind of weird. And
yeah, you saw the janky one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was like, the editing in this is super shitty, and they're like, well, that's a reason because they were cutting shit out. But
Yep.
But yeah, so looking forward to watching the next ones and to see if my opinion has changed. But from what I remember, I didn't enjoy the second one as much as the first one, but we will see.
You will like it more.
So
Upon repeat viewing.
yes, I better. If not, it's your fault.
Everything is, Jay.
And I'll play Killing Strangers as I put on.
Oh, we're going to
black
open
lipstick.
the show. I'm opening the podcast to that song from here on out.
I'm going to shit on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, join us next time as we continue the Wickness,
The Wickness.
the Wickness,
Yep.
as we review John Wick with Wickness. Fuck me.
Yeah.
With John Wick Chapter 2, and also
Jeez, are you all right?
Fuck, what? Stroke.
Jay's having a stroke.
It's late.
Yeah.
What is it? 8:30? Oh my god. But join us. Yeah, I already said that. Jesus Christ.
Listen, just
Calm down. All right, stop.
Just take a deep breath.
Stop.
There you go. Goose Bravo. There it is. Let it out.
Don't forget to comment on our episodes on our website, castwithnoname.com, where you can also write to our email or listen to past episodes. But yeah, until next time, Matthew.
Until next time, Jay.